check. One moment.
Yes.
Go live, go live, go live. Radio check, radio check.
Hello. Everything good?
Radio check, radio check. Yep, we're good. Simply lovely, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what is round 4, season 4. It is Great Britain. It is Silverstone, and it's a sprint race, but it is going to be wet conditions, very wet conditions, and it is going to be a tricky one for them all, ladies and gentlemen. This should be very interesting. And my Twitch chat is bugged. Josh, you bastard. It's asking me to send a bit. I don't want to send money to you. I seriously can't look at the chat. It's telling me I gotta send a bit for some reason. You bastards. I can't read the bloody chat.
You don't have to, obviously.
Nah, it's fine. I'll use the dashboard. I can't use the dashboard. Alright. I can't send a bit, Josh. It won't let me send a bit because apparently I have to send more than one bit. I have to send 100, but then 100's like $10, and I don't want to send you $10.
As you know, one-shot quality is underway.
Yes, one-shot quali is underway. I apologize for being distracted. I just find that very annoying that I won't be able to read Twitch chat. I can see, like, very hollow bits. Anyway, AlphaTauri of Heartband currently sees himself in P11, and I actually really hate this because it fades to each driver, meaning it takes bloody forever to get to people. Anyway, Darwizi in the Haas currently in P1. He's been overtaken by Marinov in the Red Bull, who's now taken over P1. There's not really a great way of following OSQ. It's just kind of follow the drivers as they go up and down and pick your poison, really. Anyway, the Haas of Darwizi now back up into P1 as he got a really nice exit out of the exit of Beckett's, I think. I might be wrong. I'm relearning the corners. You gotta give me time. Anyway.
It's alright.
Marinov now retaking the lead after getting a decent exit and just a bit more speed going out of Cops, now going through Maggots and Beckett's. So yeah, I got Beckett's completely wrong, and I do apologize on the contrary. Anyway, Darwizi now on the hangar straight sees himself back into P1. This is a fight between the Red Bull and Haas for pole position going into the sprint race, and it's always hard to follow this, so I'm trying my best with you people. Anyway, the Haas of Darwizi out at the exit of the next corner has seeming to have the advantage going into the chicane. Can he keep it all together, or is Marinov going to get the better of the Haas? Well, it looks like the American team on this occasion will take it, so it's pole position for Darwizi. It's a close one indeed, but at the end of it, looks like 0.4 of a second is the gap, so very, very solid by the end of it all. Damn it, why can't I get rid of this stupid bit thing?
What bit are you talking about?
It's stuck. It's genuinely stuck. I can't... It's telling me to cheer, but I can't cheer in my own chat. So I am genuinely just... I'm seeing, like, the most, like, hollow Twitch chat in the world. So, Jordan saying good evening. Good evening, Jordan. Astronomy saying ain't no way.
Well,
Anyway.
I guess you have to ignore that for now.
Yeah, I want to speak to the Twitch chat. This is unfair. Anyway, I guess all commentators need to focus on something, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
with the one-shot qualifying out of the way and something that's pretty much impossible to follow, we're on to the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What an exciting qualifying we had. We watched about 1 minute and 30 seconds of very slow, annoying fading into drivers, and now this is where the excitement happens. Full wet conditions. It is going to be chaotic, that is for sure, and I'm sure the pit crew is all stretched and ready for a lot of pit stops to come. The drivers have their strategy planned out, which is no strategy. A sprint race should be no pitting, and especially on full wet tyres that can last longer than slicks, there shouldn't be a need to box unless it's damage to the car itself. Any part of the car, front wing, rear wing, side pod, the engine cover, the diffuser. It could literally be anything. The brake caliper. Someone could honestly just terrorize the brake calipers. Just straight into one of the wheels. It could honestly be anything. The exhaust manifold placed on the internal combustion engine. Like, it could be anything. I'm gonna stop rambling on. We're just waiting for players, and we're gonna head to the 5 red lights for the sprint race, ladies and gentlemen. The rain pouring, pissing down here in the Britannia land of Britain, people, and I have made an absolute shambles of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights go out, and it's pedal to the metal for the British Grand Prix, and it looks to be a pretty good getaway from the Haas. Darwazit staying in P1 for the time being. The Red Bull of Marinov now up to P2, or staying in P2 for the time being, maybe looking to try and improve on this position. Flatbread's done well. The teammate to Darwazi's now into the podium positions, joining his teammate alongside. Chesney Reese up to P4 after making an overtake. The AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai seems to be in a bit of a struggle with the rain at the moment. He's about to be overtaken by Wizzy Boy, and now going wheel to wheel, going onto the straight, now gets contact to the AlphaTauri, falls down 2 positions, and now behind Kookaburra as well. Alpine struggling off the beginning, clearly. Have to wait and see how that unfolds later on. Doesn't look like we'll have to wait very long. Wizzy Boy on the inside, switching to the outside. Can you make the move around the outside? The Alpine can. Fantastic job from Wizzy Boy as he regains position up to P6. Is able to try and recover something of that loss from the Alpine. As you can see, the possible race strategies are quite decorative. It says wets, and that's it. So no surprises there. Actually try and get some details on the board from you lovely people. As you can see, all on wet tyres. Darwizzy's done actually a fantastic job at the moment. He's been able to pull away from the rest of the crowd. It's already a 1 second gap between Haas and Red Bull from P1 to P2. Go to P3, there's already a 5/10 gap between P2 to P3, and Chesney Reese also at a pretty equal distance to that. So equal distances indeed, with no DRS and purely just ERS and slipstream. It's all about the driver in the cockpit who can really take control of the situation and, I don't know, got multiple positions. It's a tricky one, it's a tough one, and normally in wet races, crashes happened, and also not a lot of action, because once gaps are created, it's very hard for those gaps to go down. And it looks like the Mercedes of Alex has made a mistake. Onto UK1 to actually let you breathe and speak for a moment.
Yeah, well, after I faced, and Wave has apparently returned in the pit lane at the entry pit lane. So what happened was at lap 1, we saw carnage at the back of the field, which was between Chesney and Aston Martin and Wave. They have collided into each other, and they have caused like a huge damage. I think Cyril was involved too, and yeah, they just lost it out, and apparently Wave has retired in the pit lane, so that's unfortunate from him.
Right.
Yeah, that's all I can add.
Yeah, fair enough. As we go back to the action at hand, we're currently on board with Zlippy. Looks like he's getting a pretty decent slipstream on IRT Kia, who seems to be a bit shaky as he comes through onto the Copse corner now, and also just seeming to be a bit more cautious on the brake. Actually, maybe less cautious. He goes wide on the exit there. Could potentially pick up a track limits warning. The McLaren, oh, hello Aston. Speaking of IRT Kia looking a bit shaky, he's spun into the gravel. He's going to see himself fall down to P16 as Chesney Reese will finally get past him. The Aston Martins, however, are still looking a bit shaky, as I said, for the simple reason that they are, well, last, kind of, and second last. Wave Dre kind of holding that last place because of him retiring in the pit lane. Anyway, the Williams of Cyril also looking to try and get a decent slipstream, but nothing coming to fruition at this current time. We'll have to wait a little longer. As we continue through the field, you can see the Ferrari of Driller Bonds looking for another opportunity on the Williams. Just needs to take it patiently because, of course, this rain isn't dissipating anytime soon. It's lasting all 3 sessions. It lasted in qualifying, a very quick qualifying. It's going to last here in the sprint, so it's really just about how they manage this to the best of their abilities. And right now, the Ferrari just trying to take the long game and just see if these guys can maybe make a mistake or two and just give that opening to the Ferrari that he needs. Either way, it looks to be all clean and fair racing for the time being and not allowing any opportunities to arise. Sammy Renz in P9, the Alpine, looking for an opportunity as we go through the grid. You can see Chesney Reese in the Alfa Romeo going wheel to wheel with the Alpine of Wizzy Boy, and what a race Wizzy Boy's had actually. Still finding pace in the reins up to P4. From where we quickly have a look at the telemetry, we can see that he started, what is it, P7, now he's P4, so top job from the man in wet conditions. The Turkish man that I think is English, and I'm gonna stick by that because he just is. Alright, he's English. I refuse to believe he's Turkish. Anyway. Sorry, I have hay fever, so ignore the constant noises and potential coughs. Anyway, Wizzy Boy in P4, like I said, up from P7, made 3 positions. He's done a very top job in the rain. The Williams of Nepatul now being overtaken by Hartband in the AlphaTauri, but he has got a penalty against his name, so will still be in the advantage of Nepatul and Driller Bonds plus Slippy plus Cyril, actually no, 2.3 seconds, but it is benefiting, what, 2-3 drivers in that process. Looks to be a bit of a train forming, and we'll have to wait and see how that all unfolds as we go into turn 1. Does Williams think about maybe making a move? Well, he thought about the outside line, which would have switched to the inside, but backed out of it. Still taking the outside, maybe looking for a switchback of some sort, and what a switchback from the Williams as he moves up to P10, temporarily at least. Can he get the move stuck in stone? And yes, he does. And the AlphaTauri of Hartband has now gone wide, allowing all drivers in that clear vicinity to be allowed by. And Hartband, with a penalty, is only going to be hit harder from this. K1, this is where you speak.
Well, I was looking at the Wizzy Boy, and and I thought he would make a move into cups, but if you can take a look at the Wizzy Boy, he's trying to make a move on Megas and Megas. He goes through front brand, and what a move that was. He's up to the podium of P3. It's an amazing move for Wizzy Boy. We started P7, now up to P3. Looking amazing so far.
That was some excitement from K1. Round of applause to the commentator from Dubai, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. Now, back to the actual action at hand. Wizzy Boy, like he said, is up to P3, making a fantastic move, going into Maggots and Beckett's. Well, the Maggots part of Maggots and Beckett's, but either way, a fantastic move done by the Alpine, seeing himself into the podium positions, and starting P3 on the grid, at least for the time being. That mistakes can happen. Speaking of, yellow flag. Get the track map up. It's an Aston Martin. Looks to be Kia. He's made a mistake just going into the exit of Beckett's, and yeah, he's not really had the race he wanted. 29 seconds down on the rest of the field, plus a penalty. It is, yeah, really not how you want it to go. Chesney Reese is a 10th off, well, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, okay, yeah, that gap increase, and now it's, oh wow, okay, increases and then very much decreases as Chesney makes the move. Stick on there. And I have just realised I've called Chesney Reese. Whoops. Anyway, my fault, and we move on. Anyway, the Ferrari of Driller Bonds currently looking for a slipstream on the Williams of Nepatul, but nothing coming to fruition. Just has to be nip and tuck in this situation. Rain is a tough one. It's always been tough on a lot of drivers, especially if they're just always driving in dry conditions. They won't be used to this type of stuff. And yeah, it's not going to be easy. And I don't really know what else to say. It's not going to be easy for these guys who don't practice in these type of conditions, because I don't know, they'll be on the back end. I'm repeating myself and I sound like Will Buxton, but it's true. So
yeah, it's alright.
Anyway, moving back up the field as we bring ourselves closer to the pretty much the highest point of the midfield before you reach the top 3. We currently have Flatbread, Chesney Reese and Sir Nikolai in a bit of a train battle at the moment. That's what I like to call it when it comes to rain conditions. Because of no DRS, because of it only relying on ERS and slipstream and pure driving, it's more just a train until overtake makes. Now, if this was a different motorsport, GT3, GT4, WEC, you know, Hypercar, LMP2, I could go go on and on and on, it would just be a normal battle. But because this is F1 and DRS is a thing, it's just a train. It's different. Because
I agree with you.
you know, so many drivers rely on DRS. It's just like, yeah. Anyway, the Alfa Romeo of Chesney Reese is probably going to be the first person to make a move in this little trio of battling at the moment, but the AlphaTauri is sticking as close as he possibly can at the moment to the Alfa Romeo, but Chesney Reese just looking to have that little bit more pace in the rain, but making a mistake, getting a bit too happy on the throttle there, has seen him back off a couple of tenths and bring himself a bit closer to Sir Nikolai, but still the gap's looking very close and very equal between all three drivers. Wizzy Boy, 0.3 of a second, or 0.4 now of a second, off Marinov in the Red Bull. Just waiting for if there's ever going to be an opportunity for a move for that to open up. 3 laps remaining. Well, 4 laps if you include this one, but 3 laps remaining overall. Marinov at the moment in P2, but for how much longer? Because he's got a very quick, very fast race-winning Alpine on the attack. And you know how in Season 2 K1 we drove for Alpine?
Yeah.
So, you know how on the car, if you looked at the nose, it would say Alpine Esports, and it wouldn't say that in real life. It was only in the game.
Yeah.
So if you look at the halo of Alpine, you will see a little thing on the halo where it says at Alpine Esports. They've now added it back in to the game. I remember they didn't have that before, so Alpine bringing back the traditions of having esports somewhere on the car, and they've done it on the halo this time, not the main nose. Anyway, apart from that, the man with the Alpine esports on the halo is currently, well, not sizing up a move, but more making contact with the Red Bull. And pretty decent contact, to be fair. That could be downplate damage, even if it doesn't look like it. It only takes half of that to really affect yourself. Downforce is such a key part of Formula 1, so even tiny increments of damage can be absolutely detrimental to someone's race. And looks like it has affected Wizzy Boy, making a mistake going into Cop's corner, allows Marinov to at least stay ahead by a couple of tenths. Now going into Maggots and Beckett's, looks like Wizzy Boy is starting to gain some of that time back, but definitely Marinov defending with all his might, but also using just that little bit more ERS compared to the Red Bull. Wizzy, I know we haven't really talked to him throughout this whole Grand Prix, but there hasn't really been a reason to. The Haas has been very much in control, very much cruising, and yeah, no real reason to push. He can honestly go as slow as he wants, and he'll probably still win this. He's absolutely crushing it at the moment, and we've started the penultimate lap of this race. 6/10 is the gap between Wizzy Boy and Marinov. Continue further down. Looks like Alex has just made a move on the McLaren of Kookaburra, but Kookaburra's made it back on him. Clearly not happy with that being said, and well, he's made it back, but
make a move. I don't know. I think they make contact, but Alex goes through onto turn 1, but makes I think he made contact with Alex made contact with Kookaburra, but Kookaburra's trying to go back around the outside on turn 3, and he goes down the inside, but he just had to back up.
It's lovely, that nice little battle there.
Yeah.
I love how I'm talking and you're actually getting excited.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's what you feel as a co-commentator.
Anyway, Alex in the Mercedes, obviously getting the job done on the McLaren of Kookaburra. But as we move up only a couple positions between Sir Nikolai, Chesney Reese and Flatbread, this battle has been going on for some time. Not really positions changing at the moment. It's been quite competitive between the three, and all keeping their distances very much aside. But Chesney Reese has seemingly not really gained too much time. He gains time, then loses it out on different parts of the track, like on the exit of Beckett's there. He's now, 7/10 of a second slower, and unfortunately, I'm a bit of a prick because I've just missed Wizzy Boy making an overtake and Marinov picking up a 3-second time penalty.
I mean,
bloody hell.
That happen.
Anyway, There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Wezzy Boy has made the move into P2. It is the sprint race, so it is only for position on the grid, and who knows what can actually happen in the race. But with your race winner in Austria looking just that little bit more better now that he's up to P2, it's going to be interesting how it all unfolds in the race. Wezzy Boy's definitely not close enough to actually pick up the win here, but I think a P2 is well and truly in the books for the Alpine. A bit of lag, and Cyril has left the session. That's probably why it ended up happening. Flatbread P4, Chesney Reese still fighting away at the moment. Current gap is 0.3 of a second, but on the exit of the corner, the Haas will be able to get away just that little bit quicker. Marinov really starting to back off on the Alpine here, over a second, and that's pretty much confirmed for Wizzy Boy to pick up P2. But the man of the hour, the man of the minute, really, because it's only a sprint race and it does not last long, only 9 laps of action, and how those 9 laps have gone quickly, ladies and gentlemen. The American team, but a factory not in America. It's confusing, but we don't question it. Haas running an Italian engine as well, even more confusing, but the man is not Italian or American, it's Darwizzy, and well, he's going to pick up the win, really. 1.6 seconds slower on his lap time, but it will not matter because it's 6 seconds of a gap ahead of the rest of the field, and the Haas has done, well, everything he needed to do. Absolutely perfection from him. Kept it clean throughout the entire Grand Prix, well, entire sprint race, and what a sprint race it's been. Anyway, decent from him. He's going to come around the final corner, and, well, nothing else really to say except congratulations to Darwizzy, who picks up the win for the sprint race, and because no penalty against his name, Wizzy Boy will end up coming P2 in the Alpine. P3 is Marinov in the Red Bull. P4 will be Flatbread 6 seconds off, meaning Marinov with a penalty will not be affected. So that's your top 3 done and dusted. P5 is Chesney Reese. P6 will be Sir Nikolai. P7 is Alex in the Mercedes as he crosses the line now. P8 is Kookaburra in the McLaren. P9 will be Sammy Renz, the gap 5.9, so not close enough to make any more positions. P10 is Nepital. P11 is Driller Bonds. P12 is Chesney in the Aston. P13 is Lippy, and P14 will eventually be Hartban, but he's all the way in Beckett's, and he has 2 minutes to cross the line, so he has plenty of time. See here, yeah, it's a bit rainy, innit?
Yeah.
It's a bit wet, can't lie. Yeah, just waiting. And Hartban will come across the line to finish in P14. The AlphaTauri doing a very top job to finish in last place. I mean, last place on the road. Who DNF'd, he's actually done pretty well. But good job from Alex. Sorry, not from Alex. He's driver of the day, however. But Hartban putting in a top job effort to finish in P14. But the man who put in just that little bit better of a job, 8 points towards his name, 7 towards Wizzy Boy, is Darwizzy, who picks up the win here in the sprint race. Haas gets the job done. Wizzy Boy, however, not far off him, only a point less, and Marinov the same. It's all just a point less, really, all the way until P8. So yeah.
And this is an opportunity for Darwizzy to try to extend the gap in the championship as well. But
sorry, I don't really know what to say. I'm just kind of here. Either way, it's race time, ladies and gentlemen. Sprint race has come to a close, and now we wait. Well, not really long. We're already loaded in. We're just waiting for the drivers one final time to go out racing here in Silverstone, here for the British Grand Prix, here in treacherous conditions would be the right word. The race engineers all stretched and ready to go. The drivers have their strategy finally planned out, because this is not a sprint race anymore. You actually have to think about your strategy for once. Those wet tires can last long, though it's most likely going to be a one-stop, even on 50% distance. It's just very possible with such little degradation and with such temperature taking place. And yeah, I expect a lot of crashes, however, especially on a longer distance. It's going to be interesting how this all plays out. The fans still even drenched. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. The lights go out and it's pedal to the metal, and Heartband picks up a drive-through penalty for jump starting. Unfortunate for the AlphaTauri. What isn't unfortunate is Wizzy Boy, who gets a perfect getaway off the line, already going wheel to wheel with the Haas. Can the Alpine get the opportunity he needs to go up into P1 where he's looking for the inside line? Is he going to send it? Well, he's actually playing it safe, but more just taking the inside line to scare off the Haas. Can he now get a switch back here? No, he can't. The Alpine still has to back off, but it's still very close quarters, and with such interesting noises coming from K1's mouth, we go to him, but firstly we need to just experience the fact that Wizzy Boy is up to P1 going down the inside of the Haas of Darwizzy, and yeah, very decent job from Wizzy Boy, who well, maybe not such a decent job. Darwizzy's still on the inside line, but because of the outside line, the Alpine's going to get more grip, even in rainy conditions, and that is done. And I'm going to guess some of those noises are coming from the fact that Zlippy's made a mistake, Kookaburra's down multiple positions, contact's been made, the Aston Martin of IRT Kia's down to P14, Flatbread's down to P15, Heartband is still making contact with a Ferrari, especially Drillabons. They are really going at it, and as they go into Maggots and Beckett's, I'm actually scared for their health. Because their bumping was honestly just like go-karts, but like they're not go-karts, they're Formula 1 cars. So and now the AlphaTauri has been overtaken by a Williams. On to you, K1.
Alright, so what happened was around the hairpin of Flufffield, there was a contact being made by a Flatbread and the two McLarens. Two McLarens went off the track and onto
the ground. The Alpine of Sammy Renz is P8 after making pretty big contact with the Red Bull of Wave Dre. Just a bit too close for contact and getting all very close and touchy, and you know, do that in your own time, I think. But the AlphaTauri of Heartband comes into the pit lane early, clearly making a mistake on damage, and Chesney in the Aston Martin has well and truly spun and probably made some type of contact with a barrier, maybe on the left or right side, but either way he has been affected by it. Does look like he's missing a small amount of that front wing, and yeah, he's down to P16, just ahead of Heartband, who had to box and come into the pit lane. The Williams of Cyril has gone extremely wide, locking his tyres in these wet conditions, and the Alpine and McLaren of Sammy and Kookaburra have just made contact with the side pod. Not really how you want to go with it. Let's move up to the front of the field. You can see Darwizzy 0.4 of a second off Wizzy Boy. This is where the main action is at hand, even if contact is being made with other drivers. A simple bit of ERS and a decent exit can see all that momentum being brought towards the Haas of Darwizzy and give him the perfect opportunity to get by and get the move done and dusted. I'll tell you what, he's got a really good exit here. I'm sure he's going to use a lot more of that ERS. Wizzy Boy also using some of his ERS. A move will just not be able to be imminent in this corner, but maybe in the next couple to see the job done. Does run wide, so we'll have to wait and see going into the next lap if a move can be done, because it's just not going to happen in this chicane. But still very close fighting happening between the Haas and Williams, the Haas and Alpine, and it doesn't look like we're going to be waiting very long, because Darwin's pick up fastest lap, which is now taken by Chesney Reese in the Alfa Romeo. It's really just a matter of time, really, before these guys do eventually start fighting. Still very close quarters, so we'll have to be careful and watch those gaps closely. As you can see, Darwizzy taking the outside line, looking for a switchback and better grip compared to the Alpine. Can he get on the throttle earlier, though? However, no, he can't, meaning the Alpine can still just pull away barely, but he does. So that is still the Alpine of Wizzy Boy up to P1 and Darwizzy still P2. The AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai P5. He's really just in a bit of a void at the moment. He hasn't got many drivers behind, and even though it's 0.4 of a second ahead, it's going to be really tough, because I've said this before and I'll say it again, when it comes to rainy conditions like this, everything comes down to momentum. Yes, ERS plays a factor, so does slipstream, but this isn't like GT racing, this isn't like endurance racing, you know. It's like when it rains in that type of condition, it's still racing. You can still be very close to each other, because all cars have similar competitive levels, you know. There isn't, even on equal performance, these cars are just not equal. there are bugs in this game that will just never be resolved. But you know, I think I don't know the right word to explain it. It's just, yeah, when you watch GT and endurance, it's just closer driving, and when you watch Formula One, it's more about momentum and gaps. You know, it's about battery management and go full out on your tires because they can last a century. So yeah. Anyway, Driller Bond's now in the pit lane, clearly not happy with how he's currently driving. Wonder if it's got to do with damage, not 100% sure. Sammy Wren's up to P10 because of him getting past Driller Bonds, but also getting past Flatbread in the Haas. It does a fantastic job to make pretty much 2 positions, 1 in the pit lane and 1 out on track. The Alpine on into the points now. Wave Dre up to P7 as he just starts to squeeze out the Mercedes of Alex, who's now fallen down to P8, and Nepital up to P6. Anything you can add, K1?
I'm seeing the battle between Flopper and Sammy Rens. They're battling it out for the points. But yeah, I believe Flopper they just got ahead and Sammy Rens has made contact. Oh my god. Samuels just made contact with the Flatbread.
Yeah, I've seen. I also want to say that PSG's Cyril has now locked up at the same corner for like 5 laps, including sprint race. There's no real reason to bring it up. I just really want to bring it up. Anyway, yeah, unfortunate from Flatbread in the Haas, who unfortunately has made contact with the Alpine of Sammy Rens and has now seen himself fall down to P12 behind Zlippy, obviously Sammy Rens, and Kookaburra taking the opportunity to get past the Alpine of Sammy Rens because of the contact being made. As we go back up, the Red Bull of Wave Dre just looking for an opportunity on the Williams of Nepital, but can't get it done. Nepital shuts the door well and truly closed on them. That makes no sense, but you know what? We're gonna run with it because it's like 3:20 in the morning and I cannot be asked. But hey ho, I am here. Anyway, the Red Bull of Wave Dre currently P7, looking for a decent slipstream, looking for the momentum, because this entire race, the key word is momentum, because that is really all it is. It's about like you just have to Wave Dre. If you're trying to be a terrorist, that is how you do it. And Alex is also going to join him, absolutely sending a dive bomb on the Red Bull, but can he get the move done? No, not really. The Mercedes actually getting more grip on the inside line, just holding that throttle down tight, and now he's also going to get slipstream on the Williams. He's going to send it again. This Mercedes is an absolute crazy person. I'm not trying to swear on stream, but we're going to say crazy person because I was going to say something else that is inappropriate for small children. Anyway, Nepital now down to P7 and Wave Dre now down to P8 as Alex has sped through 2 drivers up to P6, and the Mercedes has done a fantastic job to do so. Once again, as we move through the field, because the lower midfield is well and truly, I thought for a second AlphaTauri lost it, but it was just glitching. Anyway, the lower midfield has well and truly started to spread out a bit more, but you still have a couple of close gaps like Zlippy and Sammy Rens. Anyway, here are the 2 main fighters. Currently 1 second separates them. Darwizzy P2 and Wizzy Boy P1. And we have a yellow flag. It's the AlphaTauri of Heartban. I'm shocked. Oh no, it's Heartban. Oh god, I might start to cry. I'm really upset now.
Don't be.
Anyway, moving back to the actual action at hand, you have the Haas of Darwiz. He's still 1 second off the Alpine of Wizzy Boy, but nothing really coming to fruition there. Just looks like Wizzy Boy is able to pull away from the Haas now that the race has kind of settled down. Like I said, if Darwizzy's not getting the momentum, every single time you got to use this bloody word, it's momentum. If he doesn't have the momentum, he just won't get close enough to make a move. And right now looks like Wizzy Boy's able to carry more exit speed compared to Darwizzy, meaning he's carrying more. Guess what the word is? Momentum.
Sure. Okay, that's the keyword.
No.
Obviously.
No, K1. K1.
Oh,
K1. Heartband has retired.
I see it.
Oh no. Anyway, Alex in P6 at the moment. The Mercedes well and truly just having a bit of a gap in front and behind him, which isn't too bad. P6 is going to get him some pretty decent points, and the Williams of Nepatul behind just starting to catch slowly on him. 8/10 currently separates them. Darwizzy and Wizzy Boy still separated by 1 second, and Kookaburra in the McLaren has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Unfortunate for him, who's currently battling away with Wave, Dre and P9. Have to wait and see how that unfolds going into the next corner. ERS being used by the Red Bull, but I don't think he'll be close enough to make a move, and guess what? He is not close enough to make a move. We have an AlphaTauri going slow. I'm pretty sure that's just Heartban, who retired in the pit lane, and now he's still coming out. Can someone please stop that AlphaTauri from moving? Oh, contact! Contact, that's a Haas and a McLaren. Yep, okay. Flatbread and Zlippy have now made serious contact with each other, and it is now seeing Flatbread down to P14 and the McLaren of Zlippy down to P13. Both drivers will need to most likely come into the pit lane, but Zlippy's decided not to come into the pit lane. Yellow flags being brought out, and the first crash has happened, and it's not one but two people, and Flatbread has got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Luckily, he can get that taken away straight away because he's coming into the pit lane. Because it's 5 seconds or more, he can just get it removed. Either way, though, that is not really a situation you want to be in anyway, so you have to really ask who's at blame there, because I was rambling on about another driver at that time. Anyway, K1, on to you.
I mean, nothing happened apart from what happened between Zippy and Flatbread. But yeah,
honestly, I'm still heartbroken from Heartban's retirement. I mean, it really hit me hard, you know. So hard that I now need to move on to the Red Bull of Marinov and P4, who currently is situated in a really good position, but not really fighting anyone. And in Red Bull's case, that's honestly not a bad thing. Just being able to separate himself from other drivers and just drive his own race will be able to score him some decent points, good for the constructors, and a good position to end in. It's just a shame that he'll just miss out on the podium in his current position if the race was to end right at this second. Anyway, we'll go back to Cyril and Sammy Renz, because right now they're going kind of wheel to wheel. It looks like Sammy Renz has just gone really wide compared to Cyril. Cyril's up to P10 going into the braking zone. But once again, Cyril has found a way to lock up his tyres. Not knowing when to let go of the brake pedal is seeming to be an issue for the Williams. And the Alpine's going to take this to the advantage, already gaining 3/10 out of that last corner. So yeah, the Alpine not braking as hard compared to the Williams, and it's more just a matter of time before Sammy Renz will once again get the opportunity, but he nearly lost the rear of the car. And the opportunity has not needed to last very long. Sammy Renz on the outside line. Is he able to get the switchback necessary to get the move done? He just needs to get on throttle earlier compared to the Williams, and he is well and truly doing so. But the Williams, almost acting as a blockade, really can't get out of the way for the Alpine. So Sammy Renz just has to wait that little bit longer. Cyril has nothing he can do, just a... yeah, like I said, blockade in the road. He's not quicker than the Alpine, and he's just kind of stopping him from getting by. It is literally just a brick wall, and he's done a fantastic job because Sammy Renz is still in P11.
And I was just looking at the battle between Wave and Kookaburra, where Wave was pretty much close to making contact with Kookaburra, but I think Kookaburra got away with it, but no crashes have been made between those two. But yeah, it still remains Kookaburra is still ahead of Wave.
I'm about to do something funny.
What is it?
Oh my god! K1, did you just see the crash? K1, wait! Oh my god, I called it! Oh my god, I accidentally called it! I just accidentally called it! Oh, wait, I accidentally just called it! K1, K1, someone... Slippy... No. You don't understand. You don't understand, yeah? You don't understand. I said that just because nothing was happening. I said, oh my god, that there was a crash when there was no crash because nothing was happening. And guess what's happened? There's a crash. As I say that, there's a crash. Comment. Commentator's curse is so. Oh my days. Of course, as I say that, safety car is deployed and Zlippy has crashed on purpose. I saw it with my own eyes on the track map. So yes, Zlippy has crashed on purpose. I am actually sure of it this time, not like Australia. I am certain. But still, thank you Zlippy for getting me a little chuckle out of this. That was nice of you. Anyway, Alex getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and I guess my reaction was a valid reaction, eh? Something that was so accidental, it was now purposeful. I swear to God, I did not mean that. Like, I'm gonna clip this after the stream is done. Like, I swear to God, yeah. I was like, nothing's happening. Look at the gaps. Look at the drivers, right? They're all cruising. So it just, nothing's happening. So I'm just gonna, like, yell out, oh my God, there's a crash, when there's just no crash, you know? And then all of a sudden, Zlippy's like, I'm gonna make your dreams a reality. And then just crashes. That's class. I mean, like, Zlippy crashed on purpose, yeah, like, we all saw it. But, like, I still thank Zlippy because I got a really funny moment out of it. Anyway, the Alpine of Wizzy Boy will come out in P3 on fresh new wet compounds, and there's two things that affect this Grand Prix. It's, well, momentum, a lot of momentum, constant words of momentum, just always momentum, and tires. Slipstream doesn't really pay a factor because of the road itself. Yes, you can get a slipstream, but unless you're literally 500ths away, there is literally nothing you can do from it. So, you know, it really just comes down to momentum and tires. And if you're on fresh new compounds, plus getting that momentum off exits, you are a literal beast. Did I mention you need momentum?
Yes.
I don't know, man. I think I really gotta talk about the fact that these guys need a lot of momentum. It's really important that I emphasize this because I don't think I've said it enough, really. I must have said it maybe like once.
Trust me, you said it more. I feel like more than 200 times at least.
What do you mean? It's imperative we talk about the momentum because these drivers need to be able to carry so much more exit speed than their rival, right? So they need the momentum to be able to make that move stick. That's why momentum is important, because without momentum, then momentum is necessary. Which I've just said momentum to make a joke, and now momentum no longer makes any sense. What have I done to the word momentum?
I don't know.
God. Oh man, welcome to the British Grand Prix, everyone, where chaotic things happen, like Zlippy crashing on purpose when I literally said there was a crash, when I didn't mean to say there was an actual crash. I was just making a joke. Commentator's curse is real, and I have just proven it.
Indeed.
Oh, I love this league. I like, the thing is, yeah, I used to honestly take this league, like, super seriously, but, like, I'm in an official, like, Australian esports league, like, it's under the official F1 esports, like, brand. I commentate for that, right? So that's the one I now take, like, really seriously, and this is the one where I'm just gonna have fun now.
True.
So yeah, it's like an OCE, like, invitational event. Like, it's like a league, and it's under the actual F1 esports, like, brand. So yeah, I'm a part of that. I do not the highest division, but you know, there's some pretty well-known names there, like commentator-wise and stuff. So yeah, it's good, and all that good stuff. But yeah. Anyway, Wizzy Boy has miraculously boxed, which is why he's P3 if you're wondering why he's down positions. But don't be worried if you're supporting your Alpine boy, the English-Turkish man, who's really just Turkish, but hey, listen, I personally think he's English, but if you want to say he's Turkish, then you do you, man, but he's English. I think. Maybe. Potentially. Anyway, yeah, either way, he's coming to the pit lane, he's on fresh new tyres, he's gonna get... You know what should I say? He's gonna get more momentum, and he's also gonna get more slipstream, which obviously doesn't have as much effect in rainy conditions, but having those new tyres will just be more efficient for the driver. I'm really trying not to say momentum anymore. Anyway, Wave Dre is, but it's important. Anyway, Wave Dre coming into the pit lane. Red Bull making quite a bold move there. He's already on new tyres, so I'm going to guess he's got damage to some part of the car, and probably the front wing. It's the most easy to damage. But, yeah. So, I did this in another league, right? While I was on a little hiatus. Now, I won't say this league's name because it's a crap league, and I don't want anyone going to it thinking I'm trying to promote it, because it's a stupid league, and BP Racing does not deserve any promotion. Anyway. I did this thing, right? Just a little tiny, almost skit. And it goes in 2 words: elevator, music. And I'd always do it under safety car conditions, because this is the longest and most boring thing in the bloody world.
I'm sure the people watching the stream are gonna like it.
I actually really like the music. Way! Have a look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, we didn't have to wait that long. Elevator music has disappeared, and guess what has now Jesus. Guess what's now disappearing? It's the safety car. Woohoo! Anyway, Chesney Reese will be leading us away in P1. He's got 11-lap-old wets, the same as Marinov in P2, but you've got a very much furious and fast-paced Wizzy boy in the Alpine, willing to overtake as soon as these guys go. Anyway, Chesney Reese leads us away, and it's really just a question of when he does get going. Around one corner, and then the next. And he's pulled the trigger, all the gears he goes, and the Alfa Romeo across the line. Oh, a bit of a skate there, and the Red Bull's actually going to make contact. And you know what's going to happen is Wizzy Boy's now up to P2, and he's already... Okay, I've lost track. Alpha Tauri's now gone wide. Sir Nikolai is already down to P10. Looks like more contact, as now Chesney Reese is up to P3, still finding a way with Wizzy Boy in P4. Marinov is now down to P2, as Dar Wizzy actually got past Wizzy Boy, so the Haas, who was looking for the move all in that first stint, has now done it on safety car restart. The Haas, in all that chaos that I could not seem to track, has managed to get through a very tiny gap of opportunity, and Wizzy Boy is now down to P2, while Dar Wizzy's taking the opportunity to get up to P1. Marinov down to P3 on those 12-lap-old wets, and Alex getting contact between the Red Bull and himself. I don't know why I just separated him and self, but I did so. Either way, Mercedes up to the podium positions. Neptune is probably going to be the next target for Marinov, as he's just slowly going to fall down positions for not staying out. And guess what's happened?
Cyril spun out.
Well, yeah. Cyril spun out, and you know what that means, K1? 2 words. Safety car. Yeah. Woohoo! Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, for who knows how many times in this entire league's existence, we have a safety car.
Once again.
To be fair, like, Season 2 was, like, a really bad year for safety car, because, I don't know, Josh's internet, question mark?
Uh-huh. If I remember that.
Oh, man. And then, remember, I don't know if you remember this, K1, but remember Mexico? So, this is Season 2, right? We're both driving for Alpine. I've done one race, that was Spa, the next race was Mexico. I tell you and a couple other people, I'm gonna have a light nap. I'll set an alarm, right? And I'll wake up at that alarm and then I'll start getting ready for the race. I set that alarm, my alarm does not go off, and I sleep all the way until 7 o'clock in the morning. I have skipped Mexico, and I got a thing against my name. But, you did the same thing earlier on in the season too, didn't you?
Yes, in Portugal.
we both, the Alpine drivers like to snooze, okay?
True, I agree.
Oh, man.
That was a horrible thing for me.
I was, like, I woke up, I'm like, no. I did not miss it. And, you know, what made it even worse is that Gabby told me, do not miss it. Like, he's like, I guarantee you're gonna sleep through your alarm. I'm like, no, I won't. And then I did, and he's like, what did I say? Anyway, two words. We got a safety car, but 2 words. This gives us the opportunity for what? For what? I wonder if we just wait 10 seconds for an ad. I mean nothing. If we wait for 10 seconds for absolutely no reason, 2 seconds, and
Yes.
whoops, I accidentally slipped and played elevator music.
I just read through the chat that saying, Nevital saying, loving the music. But that was before this, I mean, what is it?
Actually, can you say what the Twitch chat has said, because my Twitch chat is glitched and I'm very annoyed.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Why'd you say that, like, in a really, like, almost mafia style? You're like, yeah, sure, no problem. what, are you good?
No, I feel like I'm not. Nevital is saying, you got power radio? Apparently he has Nevital.
That song is annoying, Jordan says in Discord.
But it's still fun.
It's fun, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Also, Josh, if you're watching the stream and you get angry with me, good news, this isn't copyright. So you get to keep your money. Though I don't think House of Racing is making much money. But hey, you're making money, Josh. Don't worry, it's copyright free. Somehow. What if I just blast that out full volume?
She whistles my ears.
Alright, that's enough.
Okay, yeah.
That's enough. I can just see everyone depleting from the Twitch. I do apologize. It's lucky that you get to save your ears for what is pretty meh commentary from my side. Obviously, K1's the GOAT. We all know he is honestly the best in the world. He should replace Crofty. We've all known this for time. Anyway, Darwazi, in the Haas on what is pretty much fresh new wet compounds, because he's only had what, less than a lap to drive them at full pace, will lead us away for the safety car restart. Still in third gear, still patiently waiting to go, but revving higher and higher. And he's pulled the trigger. Third, fourth, fifth gear as he gets all the way to full throttle, pedal to the metal, and it's green flag running once again. Wizzy Boy still P2, 0.5 of a second, just looking for an opportunity to try and gain some time back, but it's not really a great getaway from him off the line. Once we go back under green flag running, Alex in the Mercedes. Kookaburra, what was that? That was some type of move, man. You nearly hit Alex, and then also you've just been overtaken by Williams in the Nepital. So, yeah, unlucky. Anyway, Wave Dre making a move on Driller Bonds in the Ferrari. Wave Dre up to P7. Sammy Renz, P6. He's currently in a bit of a mid-ground between two drivers behind and in front of him. Marinov down to P15. He's made a mistake. You can see himself resetting back to track as he gets going once again. Penalty against Flatbread. He's up to P14 after making the move on Marinov. I wonder if there was some type of contact between the two drivers. The Alfa Romeo of Chesney Reese, 0.3 of a second off the Aston Martin of Chesney. It's a Chesney battle happening right now, but it looks like it's going to be an Aston Martin one before it's an Alfa and Aston, and looks like they're actually going to send each other wide. It's going to allow the Alfa Romeo of Chesney Reese right through. It's also going to send a perfect move up against Chesney. So it's now Chesney versus Chesney, with Kia completely out of the equation from it. It's more just a matter of time before something does eventually happen. Slipstream active. 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. 2 safety cars have been deployed. 2 people are out of this Grand Prix. My soul still aches from Hartband's retirement. Anyway, going back to Alpine and McLaren, you can see Sammy Renz looking for a move against Kookaburra, but nothing really opening up. Kookaburra staying in P5. Well, for the time being, looks like he's going to almost try and drift around the final corner. Doesn't look like he's able to do so, however, regaining back control of the car, and Sammy Renz will just have to back out of it for the time being. But the Red Bull of Wave Dre is going to push right past up to P6, with a bit of contact being made between the Red Bull and Alpine, and Wave Dre doing a very fine job of it anyway. Sammy Renz up to P7 as Driller Bonds looks for an opportunity. Can Driller Bonds make the move? However, well, he's got the inside line on the Alpine, and looks like he's going to get on the throttle just that little bit earlier, but Sammy Renz is going to beat him to it anyway, and so going into the first main straight, it is Sammy Renz who stays ahead of Driller Bonds, and this is actually quite a tight fight at the moment. The AlphaTauri of Sir Nicola now looking for an opportunity against the Ferrari of Driller Bonds on the outside line. Can he make a move stick? As we move up, you can see Wave Dre and the McLaren of Kookaburra still making a move. The Red Bull of Marinov has retired in the pit lane like a good boy, so we all have to applaud him for that. Anyway, as we continue back down, you have the Alfa Romeo of Chesney Reese still fighting away with the Aston Martin of Chesney. Both Chesneys in a heated battle, and I've heard in historic times, back in the 1800s, that these two Chesneys would still fight over the name of their names. So, there you go. Anyway, on this occasion, it's the winner of Chesney Reese, and the Red Bull has decided not to actually retire in the pit lane, yet on the pit exit. Fantastic, Red Bull. Great decision making. Anyway, the Alfa Romeo up to P10 as Chesney beats Chesney. Sir Nikolai P9. Chesney Riz will be trying to look for that next opponent, but for now we move up. Driller Bonds P8 looking for a move on Sammy Renz. Sammy Renz got passed on the Ferrari, but with Driller Bonds now on the outside line looking for that extra grip against the Alpine. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Has to back out of it, but still getting more momentum now. Momentum, and it's gone all the way into the inside line, and that is well and truly moved, done and dusted, and the Ferrari up to P7 with Sir Nikolai P8, and the Alpine has, okay, alright, listen, that's rather that's rather like really bad braking, or you have literally tried causing a 911 on a Ferrari.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Listen, rather Sammy Renz was American Airlines Flight 11, and the Ferrari was one of the Twin Towers, and so, you know, they decided to just go into it. Or he just broke really late.
Yeah.
Also, don't ask why I've memorized one of the planes that went into the the tower. We don't ask. Anyway, going to the front of the field because Josh has ordered me to. So, yes sir, I have gone to the front of the field and we can see that the Haas is 0.4 of a second. Wow. That's exciting.
Oh, Divison tried to make a move. I thought...
K1, I've stopped talking. This is a great opportunity for, I don't know, maybe the person who's in the commentary box with me to potentially speak. I don't know. It's just an idea, maybe. Darwin, what's you boy? P1 and P2.
I know what you're saying. I've seen it happen. I'm mostly currently seeing it. But yeah, Wheezy Boy is just slowly getting away from the Wheezy. But I think.
Thing is, yeah, Josh, I'ma quickly say something to you. 0.4 doesn't mean anything in rain. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Anyway, the Haas of Darwizzy, 0.6 of a second. Now back to what we were watching before. Drillabon's currently in P8, not who I was watching before. We need to find him. Oh, there it is. We found it. The AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai, P12. P11 is Cyril. Just looking for an opportunity. Doesn't look like we'll get that opportunity, however. Yeah, but you missed Wizzy's pass for the lead, lol. Nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Josh, I showed the stream in my head. That's what happened. In my head, I showed the stream, so that's what counts. And, I'm showing it now, right? So, nuh-uh. Anyway, it's a bit wet, innit? Yeah, I know. Congrats to Wizzy Boy making a move on Darwizzy on the Haas. That's a really good move that I definitely showed to the stream and that I witnessed with my own eyes. And I have definitely learnt from previous experiences that I need to start looking at the front more, and when I do start doing it, then nothing happens, but then when I look at the midfield, something does happen at the front, and yeah. But, here's the good thing, I'm looking at it now. Anyway, back to the midfield. Chesney, currently 0.4 of a second off the Alpine of Sammy Renz. The Aston Martin looking for an opportunity against the Alpine, but nothing really coming to the fruition. And for context, I am a bit more alert with these things, but I'm actually having too much fun. Like, For me to honestly be, like, more professional, I need to have less fun, right? But when I have more fun, I pay less attention and I just enjoy myself more. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, you know, with more serious and more professional leagues, I'm like that. You know, okay. Alright, Chesney. That's naughty boy. No. Bad. I don't know why I'm speaking like this, man. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Give me a break. I don't know. The Aston Martin of Chesney made contact with the Williams of Cyril, and now Cyril's down to P13. Cyril was sent wide because of the fact that Chesney made contact to the rear of the car, and Chesney was trying to rejoin, but joined probably at a bad time. I actually don't know if anyone's finding this entertaining. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun. I don't know about you either, K1. Like, a lot of people could just see me as an annoying prick right now. And honestly, I wouldn't judge them because I can honestly really get on people's nerves. So like, if you are really annoyed right now, I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, like, come on. You are fun. That's what matters to me. What matters to me is that we at least get to communicate.
Exactly,
Anyway,
exactly.
but yeah, I'm not saying you're a freak. I'm not telling that. But you're just fun.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
all.
Wave Dre pretty much has just grasped. Okay, and you know what I am about to say? Wave Dre has not grasped more grip. He's grasped the rear tire of the Williams of Nepatul and just thrown him into a barrier. He made his tire a hand, picked up the Williams, and then just chucked him at a wall. That is exactly what's happened, ladies and gentlemen. And the AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai making more contact with the Alpine, and the Alpine almost squeezing him onto a sausage curb, spinning out the AlphaTauri. Honestly, the only big contact that we've seen so far is just drivers kind of hitting other people. Or just crashing themselves out. Slippy. What? And the AlphaTauri is... Actually, you know what? Here's a topic of discussion as we look at this three-way battle between the Aston Martin of Chesney, the AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai, and the Alpine of Sammy Renz. Obviously, the news broke way earlier on in the year that AlphaTauri was not going to be called AlphaTauri next season, right?
Yeah.
So, what are they going to be called?
I have no idea.
So,
getting back at Russell?
hear me out. Like, listen, I mean this in the most serious way possible, right? I think this is, like, honestly what it could be. You know how, like, the main team in the little, like, AlphaTauri is Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
Instead of AlphaTauri, it should be Red Bulls, because they always bust Red Bull's balls. Personally, it would be the most realistic name. But maybe business-wise, it's not the best way to go. Okay.
I see what you mean.
You go boss, Toro Bosso. Anyway, more moves being made. Sammy Renz still in P9, so Nikolai up to P10 is Flatbread, seemingly making a mistake there. 9/10 of a second off, so Nikolai, and still going wheel to wheel between the AlphaTauri and Alpine. The Alpine of Sammy Renz on the inside line, looking to try and make a move on Sir Nikolai. So Nikolai on the outside line, but no, nothing coming to fruition this time round. Normally people on the outside just able to get him throttled that little bit earlier, but because of Sammy Renz already being ahead and also closing the door on the AlphaTauri on any move being done there, it pretty much allowed the Alpine to get on throttle that little bit earlier. And still contact being made, and Flatbread pretty much acting as a perfect camera. Also acting as a perfect camera because he's just made the move on the AlphaTauri of Sir Nikolai after Sir Nikolai teleported alongside and now behind. Anyway, Flatbread now up to P10, still looking to try and be on the attack in somewhere in this race. Lap 23 of 26, we have 4 laps of action, including this one, but 3 overall. The Haas has really chosen some weird lines, I have to say. Pardon me. Actually, you know, I actually want to quickly talk about something else, right? So, it had to be, what, season 1, right? Like, really early... Well, not really early doors. So, remember TJ, right? The guy who used to do F2 comms.
Yeah.
So he did like 4 races, and then I swear, or like 4 or 5 races, or he was like kinda there and then not, and now he's just like after that point he just fully just vanished, and then if there was a reason, just no one knew. Anyway, and then you know how I just ended up becoming the main commentator for F2 pretty much for the rest of the season anyway, because I was just constantly filling in. So And then I remember probably one of the final couple of races. I think the final race you weren't there, but then like the final like part of the season you did some co-coms with me. And I remember the very first time you ever did commentary, I was like, you know what, we'll see what K1 can do. Maybe he's a very social, interactive guy. Maybe we're gonna get, you know, really get along. It's gonna be a great time. And you know, I think we got along. But I swear to God, it took literally me to just be quiet for about 10 minutes for you to get a single word out.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I mean this in a nice way though, because you have definitely improved as a commentator. You're much more social, which is obviously a very good factor, and you've just gone which is
Darwin is making a move, but he
I got it on camera, right? Right?
Yeah. Did
right?
You? I believe you did. Yep.
Listen, I didn't make the same mistake. I did not make the same mistake, okay? This did not happen, Josh. Josh, you can see it. It's pointed at them. I did not. Nuh-uh. Nope. Nah. That's not me.
I've seen it on the stream. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, exactly. If you can see it on the stream, I'm in the right, man. Anyway, PGS Cyril, 1998. I'm gonna guess he's an old man. Not really. He's 10 years older than me though. I'm 15, so he's 25 years old, ladies and gentlemen. I've revealed Sammy Ren's age by using my age. Anyway, I'm going to... You know what? No, I don't trust myself anymore. We're just going to stick with the front of the field now. I don't trust myself. We're going to go on board with Wizzy. The current gap is 0.5 of a second. The Haas was battling away with Wizzy Boy on lap 24 of 26, going on to the 25th. Wizzy has actually picked up a 3-second time penalty. So if it wasn't more detrimental enough, Wizzy Boy's now even got the advantage. On the penultimate lap of this race, Wizzy is now on a disadvantage compared to your race winner back in Austria, Wizzy Boy. Anyway, around the final corner, because of Wizzy now having that disadvantage, even if he does get past the Alpine of Wizzy Boy, unless there is a huge mistake like the one he just made there, where, you know, there could be an opening, but even if, you know, if he does get by and unless there's huge contact or whatever, I don't see Wizzy winning this. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can celebrate the fact that they're fighting. It's really good to see that, but it's... At the same time, there's less excitement because you just know Wizzy Boy can just rather get by again, or Wizzy's gonna get by, but then it won't matter because he's got a penalty against his name. Now, I think all the conversations we've had today, we've had a good time, a great time we could call it. And the Haas of Wizzy's going to send a pretty decent move on the inside, but using the outside, Wizzy Boy will just cruise by. So, here's the go, everyone. Lap 26 of 26. That means that 26 laps of action has been completed, except nearly been completed. We have roughly a quarter of a lap to go. Over a minute already done as he's going through Maggots and Beckett's. And this man... If this was at the very beginning of Season 2, the amount of excitement I used to have in commentary, I was like, Wizzy Boy wins! Like, bro, I don't know why I acted so... Okay, you know what? Maybe I can act excited. Wizzy, okay. Wizzy's gonna come across the line. Unless...
And he's Oh,
Oh,
he's
wait,
slowing down.
wait,
He's trying.
wait.
He feels bad about what happened.
Wizzy Boy wins the British Grand Prix. He gets the job done, and we're gonna completely forget about any of that happening. Wizzy Boy has won the British Grand Prix, and he has done it in style with absolutely no problems at the very end of the Grand Prix, no contact being made, and it was a clean victory all the way to the line with absolutely no interruptions by anyone at all, by no one in particular, and it is Wizzy Boy on top.
Here's congratulations to Wizzy Boy. He's your race winner. And on the Silverstone, in chaotic conditions, on the wets. It was started in P7, had battles between Norwegian, and he just nailed it through the line, and he wins the British Grand Prix.
So, Wizzy Boy on top with absolutely no contact or interruptions at all, like I said. McLenny said made the most of what you could out of it. Mate, that was not a boring race. Honestly, that was quite fun. The thing is, every race can be fun if you just enjoy yourself. When you actually try and do commentary, right? Let me give you a clear example, because I've been doing commentary for nearly over a year now, right? So I'm gonna give you a very clear picture here. When you actually try and act professional, and you know, use all the right vocabulary, you use all the terminology, you talk about the mechanical parts, and you know, you talk about overtakes, and you're alert. Let's say you're looking at the midfield, you look at the front of the grid because you know that a battle could happen, right? You're fully aware of it all, right? So think about that. It's just all very, to put it, boring. It's dry, and to the people watching, it's more entertaining because it's more professional, right? But to people like me, I still enjoy it because it's commentary. I will always enjoy it. It's just, it's almost like you have to follow a non-written script, which may sound stupid, but just like imagine, you just, in your head, you're like, say this at some point, say this at some point, you know, do that at some point, whatever. You just know what to say at some point and what not to say, right? That's pretty much what I mean when you're a bit more professional in your commentary, right? And I've done it before, right? And it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's not as good as, you know, having a fun laugh like today. Because, you know, like I said, it will always be fun. It just won't be as fun as, like, you know, having a laugh and just joking around and enjoying myself, right? Because, like I said, it's called OFI. It's an Oceanic F1 Invitational Esports server, right? It works with F1 Esports. It has an F1 Esports commentator in it, an official commentator from F1 Esports, right? It's an Oceanic one, right? So it's Australia. And in something like that, of course, I'm going to have a lot more professionalism. I'm going to have things noted down. I'm going to have the like standings for drivers and constructors, right? I'm going to have a lot more things that I follow and say so that viewers get the most information. I can show the most responsibility, but then also the most professionalism, and it ends up looking pretty good. But then in something like this, I can lay back in my Mustang GT3 seat with a seatbelt that has a Ford Mustang cover on it, and with my legs on a table that is connected to my Hori RWA racing wheel, which is the same that K1 has, and I can relax and have a great time.
Yeah. Anyway, I think you should start the stream.
Yes, yes. This is me rambling on now about stuff that does not matter. Anyway, I'll quickly go over the Twitch chat that I just couldn't see. Ain't no way. My IP turned. Bookman back to forgot setup shot. Yeah, oh god, can we get track map? I eventually got track map after like 15 years. P7, P9. I didn't have to tires, please. BP. Oh boy. Loving the music. Hey, you got Portal Radio. My ears. Turn it off, man. For fuck's sake. Elevator music. Pass for the lead, bro. That was my fault, so I'll let you go. Yeah, thanks. Well then. The Twitch chat was well and truly eventful. Anyway, so was commentary. And sorry for rambling on, but cheers and goodbye. And I'll catch you next week when we head to, drum roll, uh-oh. I don't even need to it's just uh-oh. We head to Monaco, ladies and gentlemen. The city of gambling, expensive people, expensive cars, really nice cars. And one of the hardest tracks in the world apart from probably Nordschleife and Le Mans. So we'll see you then at Monaco. Monaco. Monte Carlo, Monaco. I mean, we've done it before, but for F1, for F2, we've gone and lost our minds. We're going to Monaco. Alright. Enough speaking. Adios. Goodbye.